going on, everybody? I've been wanting to make YouTube videos for a long time. I never got around to it. I don't really have any faith in myself. But I just have this fire burning in me. I wonder if am I the only one that's just filled with so much emotion over what's happening this week. Seems like everybody's gone crazy. And I know we're all so tired of people trying to piggyback off this thing and get clout or whatever you call it. Get some recognition for themselves after this tragedy and this assassination. Not to mention some people are out for profit. The whole thing is just disgusting to me. But there's some things that I'm not hearing. And if you know me, I speak my mind. And not a lot of people say the things that I say. So without further ado, I've got some real liberal friends and family all across the country. And everything that I'm seeing, if it's not a disgrace to an innocent man's life, disrespect, spitting on his grave and mocking him, which is just atrocious. It's it's the same old liberal jargon, the democratic disarmament movement to strip Americans of their Second Amendment rights. Something that they use as a cliche justification in the mockery of his death that, they take his quote out of context, use a little piece of it. But it's the guns. The guns did it. It's the guns. And then there was a school shooting the same day where 3 kids were critically injured. It's the guns, It's. I believe that people have mentioned maybe some solutions, like putting armed security, private security, maybe use some of those gender study funds or what other whack funds to actually protect your children, protect our children. If you love something, you protect it. You lock your front door at night. You lock your car when you park it in a parking lot. If something's important to you, the courthouse, you can't go into the courthouse with a gun. You got to go through metal detectors and past cops. If you're not going to implement the solution that you've been given, we don't want to subject our kids to a military setting. Well, you're subjecting them to a war zone. I guarantee you, if you put armed security, trained armed security at schools, whose only job is to stop existential threats and not intermingle with the children and their activities, you will curb a good portion of these school disasters. But if you're not going to implement any of the suggestions, then you just got to quit crying about it. And I know that sounds harsh. It's tragic. School shootings are preposterous. But it's also why I don't put my children in public school. There's no safety measures. Why would I do that when they can have an armed guard with them 24 hours a day? On that note, it's the guns. I'm not going to show the actual gun because liberals and, that there's an equalizer, ladies and gentlemen. That there ensures that when I'm out in public, everybody around me is safer. In my hands, that is an extension of morality and righteousness and making sure that nobody can be murdered or shot or raped or anything while I'm around. One of the funniest things is that the Second Amendment, which people try to tear apart and really get rid of. They don't realize that it's the only thing that protects the American populace from foreign and domestic takeovers. All this screaming about fascism and what happens when you finally get all the guns from people and they start shuffling you into boxcars? When your voting no longer works, when you're gathering in the streets unarmed no longer works. I get it. Nobody wants it to go there, but where's the other America that's going to come save you from that? There isn't one. It's us. So quit blaming the guns. It's ridiculous. You should maybe take a look in the mirror if you're one of these leftist, extremist liberals who's out in the streets chanting about fascism and Nazis and racists. The children are listening, man. And when you're out there, when Donald Trump's failed assassination attempt happened, and I had to sit and listen to just 2 inches to the left, and that guy would have been, the children are listening to this. And so they're hearing you calling for the assassination of what you think is Nazis and fascism and racists, simply because we don't perfectly align with your views. And you have created this. Whether it's perpetuated, whether it's initiated by foreign or domestic entities, you are perpetuating it. We've sat by and we've listened to you out in the streets screaming, crying, yelling about fascists and Nazis, and I can't stop repeating that the children are listening to you. This guy was 22 years old, and let's not get into any conspiracy theories, because the left doesn't believe in any of those. So how old was this kid the first time Donald Trump got elected? He was a teenager. And you guys were screaming about Nazism and talking about how he needs to be assassinated. And these kids think that they're going to be heroes growing up and killing these people, instead of just going up and talking to him and having a debate, which the whole irony of the thing is that nobody can even have a debate. Nobody can even sit down and have a rational conversation through to the end. In all this jargon that's going on the internet, it's several conversations that people just walk away from. They won't. You bring them facts and they storm off. They don't like the facts. And I don't want to perpetuate any further divides in this country, but this wokeism, this woke mind virus, is destroying this country. The American values, the American family system, gone. Respect, gone. I see all these people praising the death of Charlie Kirk and threatening others with the same thing, calling him the leader of the Nazi youth. And for what? Because he set up a pop-up tent and begged people to come have conversations with him? If he was a true Nazi or a true fascist, he would have done like that kid did and shot him for having a different view. And that is the hate that the left has been perpetuating. It's all about coexist. As long as you're weird, as long as you agree with us in some manner or another. But as soon as you open your mouth and say, this is a little too far, you're a Nazi, you're a bigot, you have hatred in your heart. I'm embarrassed. I am so truly embarrassed. And I don't see a lot of, I see more anti-Charlie Kirk than I do pro-Charlie Kirk. And it's really sad. The guy just carried his Bible around and tried to spread good and hope and healing and the keys to heaven to people. And it's funny because I've been an atheist my entire life. I've got the tattoo on my neck to prove it, and I never thought I mean, I knew wholeheartedly that there would never be a day I would come around to religion. And today I went to church, and I sat with an open heart, and I just wanted to be baptized. I wanted to trust in God and the message that it gives to people. Because the other side, I mean, look around, the message that the other people have, the non-religious, they're angry and spiteful and disgusting, confused, mentally ill, rageful, perpetuating hate and murder. It is your fault. That's what I want to say. Nothing has driven me closer to the church than to see the hate spewed from the left. And I hope there's people that agree with me. It's just gotten out of hand. It's, I tell you all to tone it down and maybe stop calling things what they aren't, but I think it's too late for that. It's funny because the left accuses anybody who doesn't agree with them as being fascists, but yet who's the one killing people for speaking against them? Who's the one getting upset and silencing the opposition? It's you. And it's disgusting.